There are three messages the Deputy President is telling William Ruto while speaking on top of Mount Kenya. Rigathi Gachagua, immediately Ruto left the country, he headed directly to Mount Kenya. And he is taking there a strong political message. If you are keen, you realize that the fear is gone. And the DP is now not mincing his words. The DP has said that there are ministers who are ordering him, just like the president. And one thing that crossed my mind here is, if there are cabinet secretaries ordering Rigathi Gachagua to do some few things, then those CSS can only get that audacity from the president. And that is why he's saying the president is his boss. Secondly, he's also alluding to a secret WhatsApp group that has been formed, and that WhatsApp group was formed simply to ensure, it's called a Project 22, to ensure that he's removed as the deputy president. And what he is telling the mountain is that William Ruto wants to drop him in 2027 as the running mate. And it's not about William Ruto, it's about the MPs that are scheming for that. It is a very hot debate, and you will look at the anger, the tone. Rigathi Gachagua is up to something. And so let's listen in and let's break it down, because here I want to try to look at who are these cabinet members. We are going to look at that. Who are these cabinet members that are crossing paths with Rigathi, and what Rigathi Gachagua is most likely targeting to achieve by this rally. So first I want you to get what he said during a meeting in Kirinyaga. Kirinyaga is where Anne Waiguru has also been against him. And he mentioned about President Ruto's friends that also wants to order him. And one thing I have realized after this event in Kirinyaga, they were heading to Nyeri. And in that path heading to Nyeri, they were making crossovers, they were making stopovers just to campaign. And I don't know whether it is mobilization or it is just natural crowds, but Rigathi Gachagua is attracting huge crowds. And I keep on saying, when the crowd is coming out now, is it really what Rigathi is saying? Is it what the crowd want to hear? Or he is telling them things that are around him? Remember, finance bill is going on, but this issue about the debate is there. Then I realize that the people are out. Now, Rigathi Gachagua seems to be speaking with a lot of anger. As to whether that is real anger or manufactured anger for an objective, we will get to unravel that. But just look at the tone and how he's speaking. Ameongea ni kama kuna makasiriko sana. And then you realize that, of course, what's happening now is a war between him and Kimani Ichung'wah. But the way Rigathi Gachagua has come out, he comes out a person that has really been annoyed and is out to crush whoever is there. I can tell you, I listened to Rigathi Gachagua's speech in Mount Kenya. Rigathi is not talking to people in Mount Kenya, to the Mount Kenya residents. Rigathi is talking to William Ruto directly. He is talking to William Ruto. That is the person he is directing, he is addressing. When you hear of a secret WhatsApp group to remove him, people have been meeting the president, you know, he cannot just come out completely, outrightly and say the president did this. But all these allegations revolves around the president. Ministers who are president's friends, government officials who are president's friends, and the bloggers. So Rigathi is painting a picture of an isolated man in that government. My quick look, the cabinet members that to me I can see as crossing paths with Rigathi. The first one is Tuya. Soipan Tuya is the CS in charge of environment. And part of the fallout, the very first story of the fallout was that Rigathi Gachagua was denied a chopper to fly to Bomet. And that critical time, he was supposed to spearhead a tree planting. That was earlier May. He was supposed to spearhead a tree planting exercise in Bomet. And so what came out was he did not get a chopper. He called the military bosses, and he was told there were orders from above for that to be done. But remember, his plans are organized by the office of the president. He's a principal assistant to the president. So if there is the person to send Rigathi out, is supposed to be the president. And this could be the first instance why Rigathi is seeing that there are cabinet members around the president that are ordering him. So that's number one. Number two, let's go to interior. Kithure Kindiki is co-sharing a ministry with Rigathi. Rigathi is also partly in that interior. Some departments were taken to that interior. And two things happened. On 27th May, Rigathi Gachagua was supposed to fly to Bomet, to Bungoma, in preparations for, just to spearhead preparations for is it Madaraka Day, if I'm not wrong? The last celebration, yes, Madaraka Day. And there were, games were played, he could not get a chopper, and he failed to go there. So that was their first part, they crossed path. Now, recent as we speak, there's been a debate around chopper. Now, what we are being told is there is a repurposed chopper from the interior, which is a police chopper, that is being repurposed to be given to Rigathi Gachagua. I think these are some of the things that are unsettling the deputy president. Then the ministry I'm seeing is that of Duale. Duale is in charge of defense. And the Eden Duale also went to a Citizen TV interview and once said that they had decided and made a deliberate decision that military chopper should and will not be used, should not, or rather will not be used by politicians moving forward. And one of the people that was mostly affected by that move is the deputy president himself, who has been trying to access the military chopper even in the absence of the president. It has not been granted. And the last is Dennis Sutumbi. I remember in that church service in Meru, in Nyeri, the day, a week after Rigathi Gachagua had made a long absence and where he was saying he had gone for some prayers, the next stop they were into some prayer, they went to attend some prayer, some church service in Nyeri. And the people that were around the president were blaming Dennis Sutumbi for running propaganda and fueling the speculation around him. And I think one thing that is going on here is there is some, the two communications, the two bloggers, both for the president and both the deputy president, are not speaking the same voice. And I think there is some disconnect between the Itumbi side and that of the president. And there is some back and forth around that. Now, I want to explain, what do you think Rigathi wants to achieve with the Mount Kenya rallies? He's doing one-man rally, and sometimes you can despise, you can find a way of saying he's not doing it right, he's not going with it anywhere, but there is something he's telling the region. And Rigathi is speaking to them. Listen to statements like, when others unite, there is no problem. But when I say one man, one shilling, one vote, there is a problem and I'm being called a tribalist. There is something he's saying. The DP got the position. The president got the position because he could have picked all those who are there and could be picked, but in his own seasoned wisdom, he decided to choose me. But now the people around the president, who are even coming from this region, wants to remove me as the running mate. So Rigathi has gone to the voters and is telling the Mount Kenya voters that despite of you voting for me with along William Ruto as the running mate, as the deputy president, I am being sidelined by the same government. That information is gratifying. That information, for lack of a better word, is charging emotions. And I think if William Ruto is going to listen to that speech at some point, he will have to interrogate what exactly is Rigathi's objective. That is what I want to break down here. And kindly subscribe to our channel, click the notification bell and like our video. There is something Rigathi will do. The DP wants to drag Ruto urgently to Mount Kenya. And he will drag Ruto to Mount Kenya, and Ruto will be forced to go with him. Because remember, he's making these rallies, he has made all this messaging. So if Ruto is to counter him, how would Ruto counter him? Do you think expect Ruto to go and hold rallies there and bash him there? It will be a backlash. So he will drag Ruto there. Ruto will have to call him for a ceasefire and then go with William Ruto to Mount Kenya. And one of the things that the President will have to assert, what will end this ceasefire, is a confirmation that Ruto will give the public, that I am going to pick Rigathi as the Deputy President. By the way, all that Rigathi wants is an assurance, a public assurance, that he is going to be the running mate in 2027. Because that is the bone of contention. This is the bone of contention. He wants that assurance that I am going to be your running mate. And Ruto will have to fall for that trap, because what he has realized, if there is a secret WhatsApp group that has been formed, can there be a secret WhatsApp group that Ruto doesn't know, where the intelligence are all over? He knows about it. Number two, I think Rigathi is laying ground for rejection of Ruto allied politicians in Kenya Kwanza. And this is what will happen. The more they get rejected, then they will start forming camps around Rigathi. I saw Sabina Chege in that rally. Why was Sabina Chege there? Sabina Chege was in that rally and attended that event in Kirinyaga. It's because these crowds are worrying. You know, politics is about the crowd. The perception of the crowd is there. And when the others that will have been termed as people that are against Rigathi, the more they will get rejection, it will be there. But remember, this rejection is not even on allied politicians. At these rallies, when you are spilling the information that those people are against me because I am talking about the things that pertain to Mount Kenya, politics is local. There is a ground being set for rejection. And I can tell you the next round of Mount Kenya tour, when the moment Ruto will go to Mount Kenya without Rigathi Gachagua, they will be done. And in fact, 2022 narrative might change. And it might change very fast. That is what Rigathi wants to achieve. I think the other thing here is, there is something that the DP knows, and all of us know that. Ruto went to Mount Kenya through the church. That was his entry. He did not go through Rigathi. He went through the church, and while going in church, he was carrying the young politicians, the Kimani Chungwas, the Ndeni Nyoros, and the Rigathis of that time. Then what he did, he went with them to those events, campaigned, and projected himself as a man who wanted to save the situation, someone who wanted to save the region from Kenyatta family. And so it is very true that not many voters, or rather, let me just make a speculative approach here, that 60% of voters in Mount Kenya who voted for William Ruto in 2027 voted for him not because of Rigathi, but because of how he had projected himself and asked the sympathy vote. So Rigathi understands that it's indeed true that it is not, Ruto did not go to Mount Kenya through him. Ruto went to Mount Kenya head on. So what he wants is to win pro-Ruto supporters. Even all those who supported Ruto because Ruto had been betrayed by Uhuru, as they were told, all those people, he wants them on his side. And that's what he's doing. So if there will be another attempt that, Ruto to go to Mount Kenya, sometimes it's not true that he went, it's not that easy. If there will be another attempt, they'll be told, maybe look for someone else. And that's the other third objective. The other last objective he wants to do here is setting a trap. And it seemed to be unapologetic. Rigathi is telling William Ruto, I can leave, you can chase me. But I'm not going to entertain people around you to mistreat me. And it has started a bit too early. Because what I would actually think here is it will not have taken that it will not have taken that approach, because just the other day we came from elections. So ladies and gentlemen, that is my take, and I can tell you that William Ruto will have no option but to go to Mount Kenya, because I think Rigathi is determined and is not backing down anytime soon. Thank you.